Alright, it is exactly 9 p.m. top of the hour and you're just right on time for KUTV. This is the state of the nation. Remember, a lot is happening in the world of politics, and of course you're talking about matters finance, where the finance bill of 2024 continued to evoke reaction among Kenyans, majority rejecting the bill in totality. And that is the discussion that we'll be having later on. But remember, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, through former State House spokesperson, that is Dena, of course, just came out yesterday to lament about some of the issues that are going, including starving of the office of the fourth president, that is former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And it's a discussion that we'll be diving in later on to bring you up to speed with what to expect. And remember, today, President William Ruto had a phone call discussion with the former president about this particular matter, and of course a team has been constituted to look into this public fund. It's a discussion that will be bringing you some insight on it later on our bulletin tonight. But first thing first, our reporters have been up and down to bring you up to speed with the latest in the world of politics, business, talk sports, and this is what to expect in the next 1 hour. Tonight, where is the logic? Council of Governors opposes KRA move to impose VAT demands on source revenue. Not so fast. Insurance Regulatory Authority revokes closure of Direct Line Insurance Company. Also tonight, threats and frustrations. Embu Moguka traders decry hostility in the coastal region that has made it impossible to do business. Plus, root out corruption. KTDA directors urge the government to weed out corruption killing the tea sector.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
Right, my co-pilot tonight is Lucy Kiare. Remember, you can catch us on all of our social media platforms. We are coming to you live on KUTV News, that is on YouTube. You can tweet us personally on X at Auma Evans, on KUTV_Kenya. Remember to use the hashtag State of the Nation. So tonight we begin the State of the Nation with the development. Now, President William Ruto on Tuesday morning constituted a team led by the head of public service, Felix Koskei, to immediately address all the issues raised by the former State House spokesperson Dena during a press briefings. And according to State House spokesperson Hussein Mohammed, President Ruto made the decision following a phone conversation with the former president regarding concerns about facilitating the functions of the retired president's office. The office of the fourth president on Monday accused the government of allegedly denying their budgetary allocation contrary to the Presidential Retirement Benefit Act. According to Dena, the former president had been deprived of funds, stating that out of 655 billion allocated to the office in 2022-2023 finance year, they claim that they have only received 28 million Kenyan shillings. All right, now matters concerning devolved units. Now, the Council of Governors has opposed Kenya Revenue Authority, that is KRA Value Added Tax, or if you prefer the acronym VOT or rather VAT, demands from the county government deeming them unconstitutional and conflicting with Article 209 of the Kenyan Constitution. They argue that these demands infringe upon counties' taxation powers and violate VAT exemption laws that granted by the national government. COG now urge KRA to cease these demands immediately, with the claim that imposing the VAT on counties' own revenue sources lack legal basis and contradict VAT's nature. The council, however, says it's open to discussion to reach a solution, and if no action is taken, legal redress will be pursued. Now, it's a relief for matatu owners after the Insurance Regulatory Authority, that is ERA, revoked the closure of the top matatu insurer, Direct Line Assurance by Royal Credit Company. KUTV's Munene Weru reports on a day IRA directed the resumption of the activities at Direct Line, indicating that clients that they can keep accessing insurance services.
Hours after Royal Credit Limited announced the closure of top matatu insurer Direct Line Assurance, the Insurance Regulatory Authority IRA revoked the closure, taking the edge of 4.8 million policyholders. In a press release dated 11th of July, IRA said that the Direct Line's closure bears no legal gravitas and that Royal Credit is under no authority to execute a takeover of Direct Line. Yesterday, Royal Credit issued a revelation of worsened ties with the IRA, announcing to close shop and on top of it, terminate employee contracts, discontinuation of insurance services, and a complete takeover of the insurance franchise. Royal Credit said that the measures were last resort efforts to salvage the company after IRA ignored calls to flag a scope of Direct Line's directors suspected to have a hand in the plunder of $7 billion in company resources. The cinematic corporate thriller finds its impetus in a court case lodged by the IRA, which sought to freeze Direct Line's bank accounts for alleged misappropriation of paid premiums. IRA faulted Direct Line for a fishy transfer of 400 million Kenya shillings to One Toy and Suna Holdings, a private entity registered under the name of One SK Macharia. IRA flagged the transaction as it contravenes Kenyan insurance laws, which blatantly stipulate that the insurer cannot deviate funds from premiums for other purposes rather than the settlement of insurance claims. IRS said it saw the freeze order to ring-fence over 2.08 billion in unpaid claims. According to an insurance market index tabulated by the Insurance Regulatory Authority, Direct Line leads the pack in securing PSV motor vehicle policies, netting the lion's share of 60.08%, the prevailing legal upheavals posing an industrial nightmare to more than 4 million matatu operators. Munene Weru, KUTV.
Now, let me take you to Migori, where in Migori County, the county government has embarked on a mission to get rid of government employees who are alleged to have fake academic papers after an audit report revealed that 93 employees in the county had forged papers. And as Pauline Dungu reports, the move comes a month after President William Ruto gave directives for investigation to be conducted to root out public servants with illegitimate documents.
Following President William Ruto's directive on the 17th of March 2024, for a thorough audit to be conducted to verify the legitimacy of public servants' documents, Migori County government has embarked on a mission to fire the found guilty culprits of academic forgery. This is after an audit report revealed that 93 county government employees were either having fake academic papers. Among the certificates inspected were the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, Certificate of Primary Education, Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education, and Kenya Certificate of Education that were all sent for verification to the Kenya National Examination Council. According to the directives given by the head of state, the culprits are to refund the government the amount of money paid to them as salary, the job they acquired illegally.
Audit of people working for government has revealed that we have 2,100 so far people with fake certificates working for government. Those who have earned money using fake certificates should refund us our public money.
Migori County Government, through its Secretary Oscar Olima, noted that further investigations are ongoing for 197 other staff with questionable college certificates. Dongo Pauline, KUTV.
Right, now let's switch gears to the controversial plant. I'm talking about Muguka. Now, Muguka traders and transporters from Embu to the coastal counties have decried attack and harassment by goons while transporting the stimulant at the coastal town, despite the court order revoking the ban of Muguka trade. Mbeere North Member of Parliament George Ruku now seeks to censure Inspector General of Police Japheth Kome for failing to enforce the court order, as Brenda Nyongesa now reports.
As tension escalated between coastal counties and Embu County over Muguka trade, Muguka traders in Embu County have decried of the operation they faced despite court clearance in the continued running of its business. Speaking during a check issuance at Kanyambura Secondary School in Mbeere North Member of Parliament Geoffrey Ruku lamented that innocent traders engaged in illegal business have been subjected to all forms of harassment.
We want to ask IG, if you cannot be able to order the regional commander of coast to ensure the Mera traders, the Muguka traders are protected and they do their business properly, then you need to get out of the office. Na tunawaambia hivi, nyinyi ambao mnauzia vijana yenu miandarati, mandawa ya kulevya, heroin, cocaine, brown sugar na mandawa yale yengine ambao inafanya vijana wenu pale coast watoko na wazimu wakuwe zombie. Please don't blame Muguka.
After a consultative meeting at Kawanjara Ronyenjes, the traders called on Chief Justice Martha Koome and Inspector General of Police Japheth Kome to intervene and ensure the court order is implemented. Since the halt of Muguka trade in coastal areas, Muguka farmers have complained about the increase in crime in Muguka growing regions following the ban.
Sababu tu ni kitu wamejaribu kuform na cartels, wale wanauza madawa za kulevya na zile vitu zingine, ndio wajaribu kutufungia hii mumea yetu.
Magari zetu zinazoleta mzigo na mpaka saa hii hakuna hatua yoyote imechukuliwa. Wanasema watachoma magari zetu. Hizo ni magari tumechukua kwa loan. Hizo ni magari pia zinalipa loan. Hizo ni magari zinafaidi familia nyingi. Sasa wakichoma gari ndio kumaanisha nini?
The ban on Muguka was initially announced by Mombasa Governor Abdulswamad Nasir, who highlighted the availability and high consumption of the stimulant drug in the county as being a major challenge, especially to the productivity and health of the youths. Kilifi County also quickly imposed the same, with Kwale County imposing heavy taxes to curb the sale and consumption. Brenda Nyongesa, KUTV.
Right, thank you, Brenda Nyongesa, for that. Now from Muguka to tea. Now, the Kenya Tea Development Agency directors in Kirinyaga County Zone 5 now wants former directors involved in the corruption scandal that defrauded the agency to be disqualified from running in the upcoming elections scheduled to take place on 28th June and conducted by the Independent Electoral and Boundary Commission, IEBC. Listen in.
A few days ahead of the elections of directors of the 54 smallholder tea factories under the Kenya Tea Development Agency, KTDA, that is expected to be conducted on 28th of this month by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. The directors have urged the government to take action on embezzlements of funds, as revealed in the multi-agency audit report of the Tea Agency.
We are okay with IEBC, but the only problem we're having is the former directors who are named in the multi-agency reports. It looks like they have joined together to try and come back. So we're asking the government to take action on the multi-agency reports.
As directors, we came under reforms and we have been able to transform our factory. Now people are earning a good money, and still we are expecting this year for them to get a lot of money. We are expecting that actually even the production of Dima has been very high this year.
The current board member John Mithamo lamented that the former directors are using their money to bribe farmers ahead of the elections as they try to find their way into the management of KTDA. Nevertheless, the farmers are on hope that the new directors will streamline the tea sectors and increase monthly payments from current 26 Kenya shillings per kilo to 30 Kenya shillings, as well as increasing the tea bonuses.
Tunafurahi sana kwa sababu ya serikali kutengeneza hii uchaguzi, wakatuletea IEBC ndio tutakuwa one man one vote one sentence. Na tunasema ya kwamba director wako huku saa hii wanatufanyia kazi mzuri sana. Kwa sababu ya nani? Ya nini? Majani ya mwezi imeongezeka, mwezi inakuja ilikuwa 21 sasa 26. Na bonus inaongezeka kila mwaka, bonus inaongezeka.
Clearance of those willing to vie for the position of directors is ongoing until 14th of July 2024. The full list of successful candidates will be unveiled. The elections, following a court directive issued on April 11, 2024, which came after wrangles putting KTDA against former directors, hence delaying the elections by at least 1 year. Brian Auma, KUTV.
Now let's switch gears to matters education. The Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Service has opened its portal to allow applications for KMTC September intake with a deadline set on June 21st, 2024. The application targets qualified KCSE certificate holders from 2014 to 2023 who wish to enroll in KMTC programs, including those who previously applied but were unsuccessful. Applicants will only be able to apply for courses when they meet the minimum requirements. All right, now we are taking a very short break here on the State of the Nation. Remember, plenty more to follow, including the discussion about the State of the Nation. We'll be taking a look at matters, economy, and of course, a little bit of politics here and there to bring you up to speed with what is happening. And that discussion will be coming to you in just a moment after this short break.
Kaunti maarufu kwa kuzalisha maziwa na ukuzaji wa majani chai. Pia, serikali ya kaunti inawahimiza wakulima kukumbatia mitindo mingine ya kilimo kuzidisha mapato.
Kama kuna kikundi moja inafanya biashara ya kuuza kuku, hao pia tumewafadhili kuwafunza jinsi ya kuhandle zile kuku kwa sababu wanaleta kwa wingi.
Haya yote tunakuletea katika Boresha Kilimo, toleo la kaunti ya Bomet. Kilimo ni nguzo kubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Tunachimba hadi mizizi kukuletea yanayojiri.
So mimi naomba tu serikali yetu ya Mungu, jibarikiwe na Mungu, iweze kuteremsha bei ya mafuta.
Yanayokukumba tuna maizi, tunakutetea sisiri. Kwa kweli ni speciali tukikupambia makala ya mwanamke mwake. Utasema hupendi mizizi ya habari. Nami Caroline.
From the hospital corridors, we bring you experts to discuss issues affecting your health, from diet to mental health. The familiar and the ignored are both put into perspective. We then dive into the environment and look at the effects of climate change and its solutions. Join me, Mutegi K. Martin, every Friday at 9 p.m. as we learn on how to better our health while taking care of our environment. Only on KUTV.
Are you healthy, or rather, do you maintain a healthy lifestyle? According to WHO, health is regarded as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. Welcome to Focus on Health, a show on all matters health, wellness, and lifestyle. On this show, we cover a wide variety of topics, inclusive of but not limited to dental, optical, mental, reproductive health, and so much more. Join me, Joy Bofenda, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on KUTV for compelling insights and discussions on all matters health. See you then.
Focus on Health, your weekly dose of health and wealth information on KUTV.
Lola is an app that gives you a chance to watch videos, listen to audios, and read articles wherever you are for free. Motivational stories, dramas, campus life, technology, lifestyle, adventure, sports, academics, jobs, entertainment, and more. Download Lola now on Play Store. All you need, you got Lola.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday, we ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground. Every Thursday and Saturday at 9 p.m. only on KUTV.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that you are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable. Uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before,
So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called the Security Breach Detector and Punish Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosives.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
Get ready to kickstart your day with the most exciting morning show around. Tune in to our dynamic and entertaining program where we keep you informed, engaged, and entertained from the moment you wake up.
From breaking news and current events to music, fun, and out of the ordinary stories, we've got you covered with a mix of interviews, games, and special segments. You never know what's in store.
Join us every Monday morning
and Tuesday morning
for a fun and fascinating way to start your day.
Don't miss out on the action.
Tune in now and experience the excitement for yourself.
Only on KUTV Rise Today from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Start your day
with us.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
Right, welcome back, and now the discussion begins right now. Remember, it's all about matters state of the nation, where we take a look at matters politics, business, and everything in between, and invite you to be part and parcel of this discussion. You can talk to us on all of our social media platforms. We are coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV News Live. You can tweet me personally at Auma Evans on my X, and you can tag along at KUTV_Kenya. Remember the hashtag State of the Nation. So tonight, I want to bring you closer and to the heart of the discussion. Former State House spokesperson Kanzi Dena on Monday afternoon told journalists that the office of former President Uhuru Kenyatta has been starved of its rightful packages, among them the stipulated budgetary allocation, forcing the former president to foot bills the state should be catering for. The government, through spokesperson Isaac Mwaura, in a statement issued in the evening, said that Kenyatta's office had been issued with 14 vehicles which the State House fuel and maintains. But the latest move by President William Ruto to constitute a team to look into the matter raises more questions than answers. Joining in the discussion is Frederick Saitha, policy and political analyst, and joining via the Zoom in the discussion is Anthony Ngeru, head of communication research, UDA party. Well, Frederick, thank you so much for making time. And of course, I'll begin with you on this one. Well, when you follow the public discourse between the retired president and, of course, the government in regard to this retirement package, well, at one point, the office of the former president says that they have been denied what is rightful there as stipulated by the constitution. And this has sparked some sort of reaction that has forced President William Ruto to respond and take that phone call and have a conversation with the retired president. And as a result, now we have a team that has been constituted to look into the matter. Do you think maybe the government rightfully denied retired president some of this retirement package?
Okay, thank you. Thank you first for inviting me. And maybe just to correct, the name is Sasya. I know it's a difficult name. So on the issue that has been coming across our news, that is the retired president having raised a complaint against the government. You know, any other person would just trust the retired president. Do you know why? Because you cannot come and put in a complaint when in real sense you've been given that package. But again, we have to call off the government because this is not a favor they are doing the retired president. It is stipulated in the law. And you know, State House is expected to be the highest respecter of law. If State House breaks law, then you can imagine what will other government entities do. So you look at what Kanzadena was raising, it's quite genuine, and referring also to what the Presidential Retirement Act says. Because, you know, it's not about the 50 or 30 cars the president is given. If at all he was given 14 cars, it is still illegal because that is not in the Presidential Retirement Act. What the spokesperson was asking was, what is in the law? What does the law stipulate? That has the president gotten the 2 vehicles that he's supposed to get in terms of the 3,000 fuel consumption? Of course, the 4-wheel, again, 2 of them. And also it states that they're supposed to be replaced after every 3 years. And some other many things like the retirement package, the pension scheme. And I honestly don't think a retired president can send a spokesperson to media to raise such concerns. And let's assume the concerns were not right. Then we are here today, the president forms a team to look into the claims. And why would we need even a team to spend on it when we have the law to look at? The president should have just asked his operatives to look. Have we given the budget allocation to the retired president? If yes, then give a statement responding to it. If no, continue to advance what the law states. But forming a team again is just to consume money. Form a team to investigate what? To advise in terms of what the act says, or maybe I don't know. I need to understand. If the president is genuine enough, the team is going to do what? To check whether the retired president was lying? And if he was lying, can they not just check with the Treasury to understand what has been advanced to the office of retired president? Because honestly, let me mention even the thing of the office allocation. We all know that there has been a very bad blood between the president and the retired president. So if it was me, I wouldn't choose an office selected for me by the government. I will choose a space that I'm quite comfortable. And we all know that, and it is in public knowledge. The reason why the retired president is choosing an office that is his premise or his building is because of his security protection. Because, you know, if this is my house, then I'm in charge of all the security installations. But you can imagine the president who poses like an enemy to the retired president, them choosing a site or an office for you. Would you believe it if you're the one? You wouldn't.
All right, and of course we'll talk about the suitable, space, and of course what the law says about this, because there is also an issue of the law. What does the law say in regard to this office location and all this? But let me invite in Anthony to this particular discussion. Well, a lot is happening, Anthony. Remember yesterday's statement by the former State House spokesperson, that is Kanzadena, just giving some insight on what is happening there, some claims about the retired president being denied some of his rightful retirement packages, including houses, and of course this is a house allowance, and a lot of things. Well, from where you sit, who is fooling who?
Thank you so much, Evans, for having me here again. Like my brother Saisa has correctly stated, the retirement package is very lawful, and it is anchored under the Presidential Retirement Benefits Act, which provides for the granting of pension and other retirement benefits to holders of the office of the president upon their ceasing to hold office as such and for connected purposes. Now, this applies to retired presidents upon death of retired presidents, to their surviving spouses, and also to their surviving spouses of president who died when holding office. Well, what has been in the public domain is quite unfortunate, because I believe that there are formidable structures in place to air such grievances. It doesn't have to be done in the public domain. And as we are all well aware of, Parliament has the mandate to appropriate such amounts, and after Parliament has appropriated such amounts, the National Treasury is mandated to remit them to State House, and it is the State House Comptroller who is the accounting officer of such amounts. Unlike the government spokesman correctly, this has been ongoing. Of course, still in the same Presidential Retirement Act, the President is entitled to two vehicles of not less than 3,050, and at least two vehicles, two four-wheel drive vehicles of not less than 3,460. Like the government spokesman correctly stated, when the president was retiring, he had a fleet of 14 vehicles, and he is also on record saying that such the vehicles in question have been subject to service and fueling by the state. However, we also saw today that our president extended an olive branch to the retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, and he formed a task force to find out what is happening. The government spokesman was also in record saying that already the office of the retired president has 23 staff from the 24 staff that it is entitled to. So another thing that also needs to be aired out correctly is what were the challenges that were there. Was the money really remitted? And from that task force that has been formed, they'll be able to tell us clearly what really happened. And something else I also want to mention about the office of the retired president. We all are aware that the state has provided an office for the retired president at Nyari. This same office is the one that the retired president Mwai Kibaki had been using for almost 10 years that he retired. And what the government spokesman was trying to say is there's no way you can be an owner of a property and still be paid to rent that same property, because it will be that will be conflict of interest. So there are a lot of things that need to be aired out clearly. As we all are aware of, there is also impending Jubilee Party case where it is claimed that the retired president is still the party leader of Jubilee. And as we are well aware of, still in the Retirement Act, it is very clear that a president is not supposed to hold any political office 6 months after their retirement.
All right. All right, and allow me just to seek clarity. You've mentioned that the state provided a house for a retired president at Nyari, the house that was formerly occupied by the late President Mwai Kibaki. Well, this was a house choice and of course suit for the retired President Mwai Kibaki. He's the one who chose this. Then I remember the late President Daniel Arap Moi still had his own choice of house, and he chose his location back then at Kabarnet. Well, so what is so different with retired President Uhuru Kenyatta? Why not grant this? In as much as the Constitution, and I want you to talk to me about the legality as far as the Constitution is concerned. Does the Constitution, is it against the Constitution to for a former president to choose where his office should be located? Is it unconstitutional?
Well, the law is quite clear, quite clear about the government offering the office and the benefits to retired presidents. And what I also want to mention in the same case, we are talking about austerity measures. We are talking about having a sustainable economy. We are talking about living within our own means. And why would we want to spend more on something that we have control over and go with an expensive route towards that? So the main issue is not really about constitutionality, because when we talk about constitutionality, the government has complied in terms of offering what it is supposed to offer. And as we look at our economy as well, we know very well that we have challenges. Even referencing our budget policy statement, we have a deficit of around 703 million, 703 billion. Why would we want to spend more on something which we have control over?
But this is the right. This is the right of the retired president. It is anchored in the Constitution. Why would you deny, the retired president his right? In as much as we talk about austerity measures, is it his business or the business of the government of the day? Because we have to abide by the Constitution, and it's stipulated here the rights of a retired president, some of the benefit that he is entitled to. Don't you think that will be unfair to gut him what is rightfully his?
Well, I think those matters will be addressed by the response that has been put in place. But from where I sit and how I perceive it, is the government has already done what it's supposed to do in terms of complying to the law and complying to the Constitution in terms of offering the retirement benefit package that is supposed to be granted to the retired president. So even as we look at some of these challenges that we have, of course, we have these as much as 503 million was budgeted for this financial year. We know that there was another amount that they claim not to have received in the previous budget. So we are also going to see what challenges the government had in terms of remitting such, and the State House Comptroller will be able to avail such details so that we can ascertain what kind of challenges were there. If at all it is indeed the office of the former president received the amount, if not, and if they didn't actually receive, why they didn't receive.
All right, and that is all right. Let me get account of Frederick in this, and that is 1.1 billion dollar question. I mean shilling dollar question. And of course, remember former State House spokesperson Kanzi Dena said that in the last 2 financial years, they have not received what was duly theirs allocated to the office of the former president. And of course, this begs the question, if the money was budgeted for that particular office, where is the money and what is happening?
Even before I answer that, I would wish first to give my comment on what my friend has said. He's mentioned that we are under austerity measures and we need not to spend money on other necessary things. Mm-hmm. So one, we need to understand first, this is not unnecessary because this is a constitutional right. It is given in the Constitution. Second, even if we are practicing austerity, maybe we need to understand, is denying the former president an office space going to cater for the entire deficit of our budget? Mm-hmm. It will not. So these are just reasons that we are getting from the current State House spokesperson, which are actually meant to defend the illegality being done by State House. But even having said that, I would really wish that we look at what the Constitution says, because that is what we need to refer to. Mm-hmm. If there is anything the former State House spokesperson had complained about that is not in the Constitution, that is what we need to point out. Mm-hmm. And if there is anything that that spokesperson complained about, and already it has been given, then you need to point out. But then go to the statement of the current status spokesperson. You know, he said that the former president has 14 cars given to him that he's currently using. Then I refer back to the law. Where is 14 cars provided for in the law? It is still illegal. The law simply says new cars. If they gave him the cars he was using before, they new cars. Still you are breaking the law. So the reference in this matter should be the law. In fact, even the team that has been formed where I sit, I feel it's totally unnecessary, because these are matters that are already stipulated. It's not something we are going to define afresh. And if we wanted to define it afresh, then take it back to Parliament. Let's change the law, because if we feel the law is wrong, then that is what we need to correct, but not to target the man. We need to target the law. On the flip side, President Ruto has been setting precedents, and just going political a little bit. You look at what he did when he was a deputy to President Uhuru Kenyatta. It is what is happening when he's now having his deputy and they're having skirmishes and political differences. And he's also doing the same to the retired president. And we all know that the next president will be tempted to do the same, because, you know, when you start, it becomes a culture. But again, our judiciary system and our parliament, they should come to a level whereby they exercise their powers impartially without having to depend on executive or any other state office. Because if we had a functioning judiciary and a functioning parliament, these are things parliament needs to question even before they come to the public limelight. Because once they allocate the budget, it is their responsibility also to see the expenditure. Because if you allocate a budget to the retired president, legally and constitutionally, and it happens that that budget is not actually remitted to that office, it should be a concern of the current parliament. It should be a concern even of the judiciary. If anybody walks to the judiciary, they should win the case, because these are matters of the law. These are not matters of opinion. It's not about where we want to save. It's not about the current state of the country. Because if you're talking of what you want to save, just the other day we had in the news that the president spent in excess of 200 million on a trip to America. Though he came and told us 10 million, which is not reasonable enough. So if, again, you look at how parliament officers or government officers, how much they're spending in terms of appellants and the entire outfit, you look at them and question, what austerity measures we're talking about? Is it austerity on some issues and not austerity on the government? So let's just be fair enough. Look at what the law states without having to look at which political alignment are you geared towards, but just analyze the law, look at the law, and let the status now practice what the law says. Nothing of opinion, nothing of personal maybe grudge with the former president. Because again, remember, the government or the president is exercising power donated to him by the citizens. That power, part of that power is not to revenge against the people who did him wrong. He needs to do it right and as per the constitution and without any other ill motive, of course.
All right. Doing it right, you mentioned about the pensions and benefit of retired president. We have the lump sum payable amount. Then we have a monthly pension equal to 80% of the monthly salary of current president. We have a house allowance, suitable space office. Then we have new cars of retired president's choice. Well, in this one, you say that the current government spokesperson, Isaac Mwaura, say that retired president has 14 cars given to him by the state. Well, in this one, it does not specify the amount of cars that a retired president should have. So when you say that 14 is against the law, well, when we don't have a specific number, then it means that it can be 3 or even 50.
I don't know what you mean. That act does not provide the number, because it does. At first, it talks of 2 new cars of his choice, at least 3,000 cc. It goes ahead to talk about 2 new cars, 4-wheel. Those are numbers you can add and arrive at a number. So when you say that it does not define the number, then I question, why is it talking of 2 and 2 we can add? So the law should not put a min and a max. We should look at what it states, and then we analyze it because it talks of 2, then 2.
There is 2 things here that is not specified. One, choice of office. It's not specified where.
Yeah.
Then here, the act itself. You're talking about the Presidential, Retirement Benefit Acts. It talks about new cars of retired president choice. Then above the house, it talks about suitable office space without any specifications. So this is the bone of contention here, especially when it comes to even the suitable space office. So the question is, how do you arrive at a point where you say like the president should not be, the office should not be located at his, let's say, home or any other place because it's not specified now? Does it become an issue of the law or what?
When you look at the law sometimes will say something and it needs interpretation. Mm-hmm. When it talks of suitable, suitable to who? Of course, suitable to the office holder or the person who's supposed to sit in the office.
All right.
Assuming today the government decided the office is in Machakos. Mm-hmm. So the president has to travel the former president has to travel from Nairobi to Machakos. Is it suitable to the retired president? It is not. Mm-hmm. If they choose a building, maybe let's say around River Road or maybe somewhere in KU, one of the rooms and say, these are government buildings, so then let's allocate the retired president an office here in KU. Mm-hmm. Is it suitable to the retired president? It is not. So the suitability is where we need to analyze. It should be suitable to the office holder, not suitable to the government. Mm-hmm. Because again, remember this is a security office. He's going to be conducting private matters in that office. Mm-hmm. It is not purely public because he's no longer a public servant. So if I'm going to conduct private matters in this purported office, then I need an office that I'll feel secure, not an office that anybody will give me. But let's go back to what has happened to the retired presidents before, because it's the third. Mm-hmm. It's the fourth. Mm-hmm. All the other retired presidents, apart from the first president, had an office of their choice. And that was granted. Why does it change, or why does the law change when it comes to the current president?
All right.
What I'll just refer to, this is not something of the law. Mm-hmm. This is not something of whether the government is right or the third president is right or wrong. Mm-hmm. These are something where they are settling the political problems.
All right.
So this is just an opportunity to oppress and maybe maximize on the current opportunity to show the president that maybe, quote unquote, you harassed us and now it is our opportunity. So it's nothing to do with the law is not defining what should be given right or wrong, but the law is very clear. So the problem is the people who are supposed to make sure the law implemented to the latter.
All right. Anthony, do you think it's payback time?
No. Contrary to what I say, it's not payback time. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, the government has done its part in offering the former president a suitable office for him to operate in. And I just want, it's very ironical because we can't say that we give everyone everything that they want. I want to refer you back to the MPs who were renting office spaces in KICC when there is Bunge Towers. So there were a few MPs that didn't want to relocate to Bunge Towers, but eventually, is it the right way to operate? Definitely not. And if you look at some of the vehicles that the former president has, the government spokesman is in record saying that some of these vehicles were purchased as recent as 2022. We're talking about living within our means. Why would you want to purchase vehicles worth 140 million within 2 years? Is that really correct? And if at all we went ahead and purchased those vehicles, the same people in the opposition would have been up in arms telling the government, we're talking about austerity measures, but we are wasting money when we can save from such cases. So contrary to what my brother is saying, I don't think that is, we all know what everyone in the current government went through to be where they are today. And it's not about payback. And ideally, that's the reason why the president, the moment this story hit the public domain yesterday, that's the reason why the president came out to make things clear through the government spokesman. And again, he extended an olive branch to the former president so that they can streamline everything. Because who would want to repay it's not like they are enemies. They work together in the same government. So the best way to retire them is to ensure that they get everything that is owed to them through the Presidential Retirement Act.
All right. And Frederick, that's where the problem is. Well, immediately after former State House spokesperson issued the statement, then the government came with a response in regard to that, and they refute the claims, and they even gave a statement indicating now the number of cars that you're talking about and some of the vehicles that the government has, fuel and maintain, contrary to the report from the government former State House spokesperson. Well, today we see President actually, extending the olive branch, calling the retired president and even forming a team to look into these matters. Does it talk about now the double speak? Because we're trying to see if genuinely you claim that this is something that like whatever they are saying is a lie and you have provided everything as the Constitution requires, then why will you form a team to look into these things? So what do you read into this?
Actually, that is the question. And what you've said is true. This is double speak. Why? Because, honestly, if the former president had been given what the law stipulates, why would the current president pick a phone, call him and form even a team to investigate? Investigate what? If you're given what the law stipulates and the law has stated, and the president can check and maybe refer with these operatives and know that all has been met. The only thing he should have done is maybe send another press briefing to the media and correct what the former president was stating that is wrong. But when you form a team, it's more of admission that what the complainant said is true, so I'm forming a team to correct the mistakes. So to me, the president first has admitted that the former president raised genuine concerns, and where is it? Probably felt this should not have been gone this far. Okay. And we need to go back. This has not started now. You remember immediately after the current government came to place, the security of the former First Lady Mama Ngina was withdrawn. It was in the media. The house of the former president's son was ransacked. And those things have continued up to now. So probably they just a little bit left active payback and decided to do it now a little bit softer. Okay. But this has not started by the former State House spokesperson coming to media, because we saw even the president waking up at night to go and defend the son. Those are things that have just continued. And when my friend says it's not logic to buy new cars when we already had some new cars bought in 2022. Again, I repeat, this is not a discussion or a matter of logic. This is a matter of constitutionality. All right. What does the Constitution state? Okay. If the Constitution is not logic, let's take it back to Parliament, then have a change of the entire act, then make it logical the way we want, then we come and practice it right. Okay.
So, Anthony, a quick response to this. Do you think maybe the government is second-guessing itself? Why would you, form a team if you are sure that whatever, the claims that the office of the retired president, some of the complaint, or rather the complaint that they are bringing forward, you've really met all of them. So why would you, form a team to look into this?
The reason a team was formed to look into everything that was reported is because, yes, everything has been, the government has been trying to implement everything that is in the Presidential Retirement Benefits Act, but you might find probably there were some gaps in the implementation. We know very well that when Treasury is remitting funds, sometimes there are challenges probably emanating from liquidation, which sometimes may cause some delays from the exchequer. So those are some of the things that need to be ascertained. Even some of the figures that the government spokesman gave out publicly today, those are some of the facts that need to be canvassed and ascertained to find out if at all they are true. And also, the president was also very open and intentional when he spoke about the office space that is supposed to be given to the former retired president. as much as the government has offered Nyari, the former office that the former president Moi Kibaki held for more than 10 years, he was very open to that conversation. So it's not that the government is denying anyone anything. I want to be very clear on that. The government is very intentional in following the constitution. The president has been on record multiple times to give that affirmation. So in the task force that has been put in place is majorly trying to move away from that conundrum of that office space, and also try to divulge deeper, if at all, everything that is in the Presidential Benefits Act was actually.
All right. Gentlemen, we've really, run out of time, and of course, I'll have to. I'm afraid to end this discussion at this particular point, and I want to thank you so much, Frederick, for making time.
Thank you.
Asante sana, Anthony, for always making time. All right, so we are taking a very short break, and when we come back, we'll be diving into motorsports. So, see you in a while.
Repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
From the hospital corridors, we bring you experts to discuss issues affecting your health, from diet to mental health. The familiar and the ignored are both put into perspective. We then dive into the environment and look at the effects of climate change and its solutions. Join me, Mutegi K. Martin, every Friday at 9 p.m. as we learn on how to better our health while taking care of our environment. Only on KUTV.
Right, welcome back, and now let's talk motorsport. The national men's football team, Harambee Stars, played out to a barren draw against Africa's Cup of Nations champions Ivory Coast at Bingu National Stadium in Lilongwe, Malawi this evening. Harambee Stars failed to capitalize on the plenty of chances that came their way despite defending well against formidable Ivory Coast attacking line. The result leaves Kenya third on the Group F table standing with a away match to Gambia next year. Now from football to rugby, the Kenya Rugby Union has announced the official dates for the opening of the Kenya Rugby transfer window. In a notice, the transfer window was declared officially open as of 10th June 2024 and will close on 14th July 2024. KRU advised clubs to make sure they complete all transfer activities within that period to avoid any issues in the upcoming 2024-2025 season, and also warned that no player will be allowed to participate in the upcoming season if they will not be duly registered within that given time. It's a wrap, and many thanks for all those who made this production a success. My good name is Auma. Lucy Kiaria has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Until next time, let's meet on Thursday, same time, same place, by the grace of God. Do have a lovely night.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university